Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling Debate and to my WrestleMania 38 predictions. The show is finally here, the grandest daddy of them all, the grand stage, the stage of the immortals, whatever it's called. I'm so bloody hyped. WrestleMania is back, 2 nights, and yeah, the card looks absolutely stacked, so I've had enough of talking. Let's get straight into the predictions, and we're starting off with the Raw Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Yeah, for me this is a Bianca win, it's got to be, hasn't it? She had her WrestleMania moment last year, and this time I think she'll get another one in front of a full crowd. I mean, like after the whole SummerSlam thing, it'll just come full circle, and it just makes perfect sense. I don't know if WWE have booked it like this, but if they have done, it will make total sense. Becky Lynch just had a decent title reign, but yeah, it's got to be time for Bianca to regain the gold now, and no bigger stage than WrestleMania to do it. So yeah, I'm saying Bianca for the win. Moving on then to the Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul, and yeah, for me, I'm going to go for the Mysterios for this one. I mean, like, Miz and Logan Paul. I mean, Logan Paul's a celebrity, but he's coming as a heel, which is kind of rare for a celeb. And yeah, it does make sense. He's a dislikable guy. No offense to you, Logan. And yeah, obviously got the Miz with him. Mysterio, he's been on the cover of 2K22 recently. He'll be in favour and all of that with WWE. So yeah, it just makes sense for Mysterio to get the win in this one for me. Moving on then to Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Mouse. And to be honest, I'm just going to be glad when this match is over, and we never have to see these feud again or for a long while, because yeah, I just think Drew, no offence to Baron Corbin, but I think for this guy he needs to be a bit higher up the card. That's Drew, of course. So yeah, I'll just be happy when this feud's over. But yeah, I wouldn't even be mad if it was just a squash match or anything like that. But yeah, I'm going for Drew for the win here. No offence to Corbin, I like the guy. Moving on then to the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. And for me, it's got to be the Usos here. I mean, like, they've had such a dominant run, and like, no disrespect to Nakamura and Boogs, but they just don't feel built up enough, and they've just suddenly got this title shot, and it's at WrestleMania. It's all coming around very suddenly, and yeah, I just think it'd be a bit weird just to then have the title taken off and so suddenly after such a long reign, which is why I am going to go for the Usos in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE is surprising, but for me, I think it's going to be the Usos. Moving on then to the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, of course, taking on Sheamus and Richard. Shane Pete Dunne or Butch didn't get a match here instead of Sheamus or Ridge, but you know, it is what it is. And either way, I just don't think it will reflect. It will matter, because I think the New Day have got to win this. Surely, after everything that happened to Big E, I know it's an accident and everything like that, but yeah, it's got to be a big babyface win for the New Day. Everyone loves the New Day. Woods is recently back, so yeah, for me it's got to be the New Day. Moving on then to Seth Rollins versus a mystery opponent that Mr. McMahon will be announced tonight, and I think it's going to be no, it's obviously going to be Cody. Cody Rhodes will make his return to WWE. I can't believe I'm saying those words. I mean, like, just a few months ago, I would have been putting a mental asylum for saying that probably. Yeah, just absolutely incredible. Cody's going to make his return. The pop is just going to be incredible, and I can't wait for the match as well, because that's just going to be brilliant. But of course, Cody gets the win. It's got to be Cody to get a win in his first match back. I mean, he's a freaking AEW EVP. Still just find it unbelievable. Next up is Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and yeah, this is a hard one to call, to be honest. I've seen people saying Charlotte could get the win here, and I mean, like, we all know how much Vince McMahon loves her. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, for Ronda Rousey, first proper match back at WrestleMania, massive crowd. I mean, like, it's got to be Ronda Rousey to have a triumphant return, and then she could have a year's reign with the belt or something like that, really build her up ahead of a Lynch match next year. It just makes sense to me. So yeah, that's why I'm going to go for Ronda Rousey to get the W. Moving on then to reportedly the main event of Saturday, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens. And yeah, for me, if it's the main event, I was surprised when I read it main event, but yeah, if it's the main event, surely it has to lead to some sort of match, and that's exactly what I think will all happen. I think hopefully we'll get a bit more than like what we saw with Rock versus Eric Rowan a few years ago, but yeah, it's got to be for a match. Hopefully Kevin Owens doesn't get buried, but of course Stone Cold is winning. We're going to have a beer party and everything like that to end night one. Yeah, Stone Cold for the victory. Moving on then to night 2, and starting off with a fatal 4-way for the women's tag team titles, Zelina and Carmella, Banks and Naomi versus Rhea and Morgan and Natalia and Baszler. And yeah, as I've been repeating on out of 10 videos, I just have zero hype for this, to be honest. I mean, like, the competitors in bold aren't bad, but yeah, I just feel like there's a lot more we could be doing with, especially some names. I mean, like, look at Sasha Banks. But yeah, Sasha Banks and Naomi, to me, they seem like the ones with the most positive trajectory, and that makes me think they will become winners tag team champs and hopefully try and elevate that belt. Moving on then to Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, and I'm really looking forward to this. An anything goes match. We know how much of a crazy MF Johnny Knoxville is, so yeah, hopefully we're going to see something bad, and you just know Sami Zayn will play along with it, because he's just great, Sami Zayn. So yeah, I really can't wait to see this. From an intrigue point of view, there'll probably be some sort of interference or something like that, so Zayn can have a story after WrestleMania. But yeah, it's got to be a Knoxville win in this one, and yeah, I can't wait to see what he gets up to. Knoxville from dub. Moving on then to Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, and yeah, this is a really interesting one, because it was supposed to be Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. Now it's Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, and we'll see what happens here. Will Vince McMahon still get involved? I think he will do. I think he'll come out, try and help Austin, and end up, I don't know, like causing a distraction and losing in the match, or something like that. But yeah, I think it will get physical. Vince McMahon is just a crazy man, and at the age of 78, I think he'll want to get physical and probably end up being laid out with Pat McAfee getting the win. Moving on then to RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And this is an interesting one, because to be honest, a few months ago I thought for sure that Riddle and Randy would be facing each other at the shows, but it hasn't quite transpired this way, and they're coming into it as champions. And yeah, if I'm looking at that, Street Profits and Alpha Academy, no disrespect for them, but I just can't see any of them really taking the title off them at WrestleMania, which makes me think RK Bro will retain. No real firm seed planted to them breaking up yet, so for me, I think they will retain here. Moving on then to Edge versus AJ Styles in probably one of the matches that I'm most looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, obviously it's going to be a barnstormer when you look at the people involved. And yeah, AJ Styles just coming back after being beaten pretty easily by Omos, and Edge obviously new heel run, and you know, still a legend, could do with victory. So yeah, it's an interesting one, because both of them could do with victory, but I think it's just going to be an absolute brilliant match, to the point no one will care about the winner. But yeah, I'm going to say Edge for the win here. Moving on then to big men slapping meat, Bobby Lashley and Omos. And yeah, this is going to be a really intriguing match. I can't wait to see which way it goes. Because obviously you've got Omos, the absolute dominant one who just destroys everyone in his path. And Bobby Lashley is recovered in John Cena superhero time to get to WrestleMania. And yeah, obviously we know how much Vince McMahon has pushed him in the last year. So can you see him losing? It's a hard choice to be honest. But I just feel like at the big stage, this is going to be Omos' really big rub and push him on to the next level. I think Omos could get a win here. Moving on then to the main event of WrestleMania, champion versus champion. Will it unite the title or not? We're still not quite sure. I think it will, but we'll see. Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns. And yeah, it's all been building up to this. The build has been really good, and I can't wait for this. I mean, like, obviously, Roman Reigns' title long has just been super long, and Brock Lesnar is coming into it as an absolute beast. And it's a hard one to call, but I just think Rock WrestleMania 39 is still in my head. I still think Roman Reigns will get the victory, and we'll just keep this never-ending title reign going. But it could go either way, this one. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. So like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. Find into the description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.